Alright, happy Homebrew Thursday. As promised, I'm going to go over those recipes that I said I'd get to lunch, but I'm a tax accountant, guys, so right now things are crazy. The IRS hasn't released any of the forms they're supposed to, so another thing, Larmo, just want to let you know that I'm going to make some of those treats you said. It's going to be for this little guy right here. Susakumo. Susakumo. In case you guys don't know, about different types of dogs. That's a Shiba Inu, also known as a Japanese Husky, also known as Crazy as Hell. Larmo, I'm gonna make those dog treats. If he likes them, I'll have to get your address and I'll shoot you over a couple of my home brews. But tonight's video is gonna have an extra thing. I am actually, if you guys can see, I'm gonna start my yeast starter. So I'm actually gonna videotape that process. This is my San Francisco lager yeast, so I'm going to start that tonight, and then also I'm going to go over my recipes. I was going to just put them up in the information section, but I remember they're actually a little complicated, and my notes when I started these weren't as good as they are now. It's kind of funny when you look at my first recipes, the notes are horrific, and like as I go on, they get progressively better. So I've tried to be more consistent about that. It's just something that I'm going to do with time. So I guess stay tuned and more to come. Alright guys, so here is the next step of the process. That is 1 cup of DME to 4 cups of water. From what I've been told, that's a good ratio. I normally do 2 cups to every half cup of DME, but I'm doubling it this time since I want a much bigger starter. For the lager, since it's going to be brewing at much lower temperatures. I know that the the yeast says that it doesn't have to be a true lagering temperature. It can be okay between 65 and 70, but I still want to get it as low to 65 as possible. So with that in mind, I still want a much bigger starter. So I'm just getting this up to temp. As you can see, it's starting to boil, so I'm going to toss this in and get this process started. Okay guys, as promised, here's my recipe for the pumpkin beer. I have 5 pounds of American 2-row, 6 pounds of Munich, half a pound of caramel 60, quarter pound of chocolate malt, and quarter pound of aromatic, to a total of 12 pounds. My hops are 1.5 Fugel, and that's ounces. I think I said pounds. 1.5 ounces of Fugel and 0.5 ounces of Hallertau, whatever. Yeast, I did a packet of English ale yeast. According to my beer guide, there's no difference between the Y yeast for the ales or the English. It's really in like the more complex stuff, like the lager yeast, the Belgians and stuff like that. Here's the part where things change up. 3 cans of pumpkin. Make sure it's organic. It has to be organic, no preservatives at all. And then you're gonna need cinnamon, nutmeg, clove, and that's it. I don't add any ginger. I think it says to put ginger in there, but I don't. And what I mean is, these are all vague because what I did is I took 3 cans of the pumpkin and then I followed the recipe on how much cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove to put in. Each one's a little different because some of the pumpkin that's in the can is already spiced. So what I did is I followed the recipe. I believe it said half a tablespoon of cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove for every 1 can of pumpkin. So since I had 3 cans of pumpkin, I believe it was 3 tablespoons of cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove. Just follow the back of your can of pumpkin on how much to put. The next thing is the brown sugar. That goes in at the last 15 minutes. That juices up the alcohol, and it also leaves a little bit of flavor. So what you want to do is, put your 3 cans of pumpkin into a baking dish, and you want to put it in the oven for about between 300 and 375. It really depends on what altitude you are. The whole idea is after 30 minutes you want a little bit of browning on the top. That kind of caramelizes it and gives it a bit of a roasted flavor. It's really good. So you don't want it burnt. You just want a little bit of brown on the top. Basically like pumpkin pie. Get it? So the way I did this was I added the roasted pumpkin to the mash, and I mashed in at 152 for an hour. For the spices, you add those the last 15 minutes. So what some people say would be the 45-minute mark. The main thing is, see how it says 45-minute mark? That's to convert it, because some people use it like, okay, after 45 minutes of boil, you would add it in. So i.e., 15 minutes remaining. It's a 60-minute boil. Tasting notes, as you can see, lovely. It's blank. Like I was saying earlier, my notes kind of sucked in the beginning, but the way I did this recipe, if you want to follow it exactly, is see those 12 pounds of grains? I mashed in 12 quarts of water at 152 degrees for an hour. Then I ran off, Then I ran off 5 gallons on top of that, and then basically boiled it down to 5 gallons for 60 minutes. To add the hops, you start out by putting in the... Actually, I'm going to have to get back to you guys on the hops for that. I did not do the best of that. But I have this written down in another book, so I'll get back to you on that. So next thing is, let's do my hard apple cider. Oh, not sharing that one. The peach IPA. This one's a little easier to follow. Grains. You want 9 pounds of American two-row, 1 pound crystal, 1 pound honey, 2 pounds Munich, to a total of 13 pounds. Then hops, 1 ounce Centennial, 3 ounce Cascades. For this you're going to need 7 peaches. Real easy. I dice the 7 peaches up and I add them to the mash. I did this in the winter and I got great results with this. That's important because the peaches aren't the ripest in the winter. Let's see, you dice the peaches, add them to the mash. You need 152 degrees for 1 hour. Lauter 5 gallons at 180 degrees. Here's where it gets intriguing, guys. It's a 60-minute boil. You're going to want to divide your Cascade into 1/5. To do that, I suggest using a weight, using a scale that measures weight, and then just divide them up into fifths. And I think it's like 0.6 something ounces, or 0.06. I don't know. I put 5 little cups together. I put them all in 5 cups, and I kept measuring them until they were all the same. So at the 60-minute mark, you're going to put all of your Centennial in. Then at the 45-minute, you're going to put 1/5 your Cascade, 30 1/5 your Cascade, 15 1/5 Cascade, 5 1/5 Cascade, and at the 0, 1/5 Cascade. Your yeast is your Cephale 05 packet. And guys, that one's real simple, minus, constantly adding those, but it turned out amazing. That's my peach. I've had great results with it. Everyone that's tried it loves it. It's a really good recipe. I'm going to get back to finishing up my yeast starter. As you can see, we're boiling away, so sanitation's not going to be a problem. I got my funnel, my little airlock, and my cap. This is all sitting in a sanitized solution. I've got my little jug with all nice sanitizer in there. I'm going to go basically wrap this up, then I'm going to go double check those hops for the pumpkin, and then I think we're good to go. Okay guys, like I was saying, my notes were kind of discombobulated. I just added it to basically help myself the next time, but the Fugel, you add at the 60 minutes, so the start of the boil, and then you add all the Hallertau at the 0-minute mark. And I probably said this about 100 times, but I want to confirm, the cinnamon, the nutmeg, the clove, and the brown sugar, add at the last 15 minutes. For the love of God, do not add them at the start of the boil like I've heard some people say. It will end up making your beer taste like burnt cinnamon. In case you're curious what that is, take a dog, this is a great example, this guy, and lick his butt. Because that's the taste you're going to get. It's disgusting, you don't want it. I know it's bad because he licked his butt one time, then took a sip of my beer, and went back to his butt. So clearly his butt was tastier than that. So factor that in. In summation, add the Fugel at the 60 minutes, so the start of your boil, and add the Hallertau at the end of your boil at the 0-minute mark. Okie dokie, that's it. Now, let's get back to making my yeast starter and getting my lager going. Right now I'm in a ice bath right there. kind of jerry-rigged a nice little thermometer in here to tell me when she's cooled down. As you can see, 138, that is nowhere near cold enough, but it's drastically colder than the 200 it was at about 2 minutes ago. So we're going to keep going, and I'll let you guys know what happens next. Okay guys, this is the final result in here. I'm kind of a anal when it comes to these. I like to be extra cautious, but let's see if I can get some light in there. Way at the bottom is my yeast starter. I just shook it up. It'll stay in here. Today's Thursday night. It'll stay in here. It's Thursday night, 10:27. This will stay in here until Sunday. Come on, camera, focus. There you go. It'll stay in here until Sunday when I brew, and we'll be good to go. So I guess chapter 1 of the popcorn beer has started. That's it for me tonight, guys. I guess till Sunday or Monday, take it easy and, enjoy your home brews. Brew strong, drink strong. Take it easy. Peace.